Hi, I'm Amanda Freed, and we are live streaming from the core at La Encantada, where we continue to show up every week as best we can to support you with the programs that you've been used to having support you through this time and before. We used to be able to sit here together and meditate and practice and learn. And when we found that we couldn't do that, we decided we still wanted to show up for you. So we'll be live streaming for the foreseeable future. So you can catch us here on tmcaz.com or on our YouTube channel, and everything's recorded. So we're here for you. I'm Amanda Freed, and this month we're talking about sowing seeds of change. And I know that it's probably been a pretty difficult week for most of us, and I know it has for me. Sort of an extra helping of stress this week. And I kind of took a lot of it in, and as I believe a lot of people did take a lot of this in. But I was listening to one of my teachers this morning, and it was such a beautiful message that I heard. And his message was kind of like, yes, there are things that are happening in the world, but we really have to, if we can, sort of govern our own inner condition. So this month we're talking about sowing seeds of change, sowing seeds of love. So today's meditation will hopefully help you to do that. And today I'm going to talk about, in our meditation, kind of how we can plant, watch the seeds grow, and also kind of pay attention to what might endanger the seeds that we're trying to sow. So if you were planting a garden, what might endanger the vegetables you wanted to grow? So it might be pests. So we won't talk a whole lot more about that, but it might be unwanted other living objects. It could be weeds. And so with our inner condition, what is hampering us from growing what it is we want to grow? What are those conditions that we would like to have in our environment, whether it be peace or love or compassion, kindness? And then what are those things that we might be allowing in that are hampering the growth of what we want in? So that's just a little bit of an overview of what our meditation practice is going to be today. So I would love it if you could find yourself a comfortable seat. Of course, if you're driving and listening, or you're doing something else and listening in, you can just listen now and maybe do the practice later. But if you can, find yourself a comfortable seat. And as you're ready, allow the eyes to close down gently. So much of our attention is often directed outside of ourselves, whether it be to the news or to friends or social media. And what we see there is what actually gets assimilated into our internal atmosphere, our internal condition. So when we close the eyes down, we're actually creating a little bit of a boundary that turns the attention that is normally going outward. It turns that attention in. And deep within each of us is a very stable and calm inner condition. Sometimes it just takes some work and some practice to be able to reach that space. So together today, we'll work on reaching that space. And one of the first lines of awareness is the breath. So now that the eyes are closed down and the attention is turned in, gently bring the awareness to the breath. And in these first few moments, know that we're not trying to change or regulate or orchestrate the breath in any way, but we're simply paying attention to it. So we breathe and simply know that we're breathing. Inhale and know that you're inhaling. Exhale and know that you're exhaling. Nothing else is required. Just an awareness of the breath in this moment. Now, thoughts will come in and out, the mind will wander. Our job is to simply pay as much attention to the breath as is possible. And when the mind wanders, all we need to do is gently remember, oh, I'm paying attention to the breath. No judgment, no failure. Just, oh, walk the attention back to the breath, watching the inhale, perhaps listening to the exhale. And noticing now the quality of the breath without judgment. Just notice, is the breath deep and smooth? Or is it shallow, or short, or choppy? If your breath is shallow or short, just know, oh, I might be a little stressed right now. And notice that the longer you pay attention to the breath, the more the breath equalizes. The breath might get a little slower or fuller. The duration of the inhale and the exhale might become a little more even. Throughout the day, maybe remind yourself to spend just a few moments with the breath. And then we'll gently do a body scan. We'll check in with the muscles, first of the neck and shoulders. So just check in. Notice where your shoulders might be. Notice if there's any tension being held in your breath. And a good way to release any tension in the muscles is just to exhale again. And check in with your lower jaw and allow the low jaw to release from the upper jaw. The low jaw might even slide back slightly. Allowing the lips and the teeth to part gently will release that jaw. And then if the jaw slides back, you might notice, oh, my neck is elongated a little bit. Can release even more tension in the neck. And checking in with the muscles at the sides of the scalp, just above and around the ears, and letting them release. Allowing the skin of the forehead to be smooth. Feel the expansion of your rib cage when you inhale, and the gentle fall of the rib cage when you exhale. So just focusing on the rise and fall, maybe the collarbones or the whole rib cage. So there's a rhythm to the breath. We can step into this rhythm that's happening all the time to find that space within. It's just something to pay attention to that's not outside of yourself. And then finally, placing the awareness on the low abdomen and feeling the fullness of the belly as you inhale, and allow for that fullness. Allow yourself to expand from the inside out. It's like you yourself are taking up the space in your own body, in your own seat, in your own awareness. Now bring your thought process, bring your awareness to a seed that you would like to sow in your own life in the next year. Like what might be one thing, now we're not talking about houses or jobs or relationships, talking about a quality that you would like to grow within yourself, within your life. Peace, compassion, love, maybe mindfulness or loving awareness. Just one for now. And notice that quality as a seed. And you plant it deep within your own heart. And like begets like. So whatever that seed is, you'll want to bring in things that are like it. So if it's compassion, be around people that are compassionate with you. If it's patient, hang around patient people. So now bring to your awareness people or circumstances that would support what it is you're trying to grow within you. So just focusing on that one quality that you would like to grow within yourself over the next year. And focusing on people or circumstances that will be the nourishment for that growth. And what else might you need? Might you need some good food or extra rest? How do we create an environment to grow that which is positive, healthy, beautiful? And for just a moment, bring your awareness to something that might hamper that growth, whether it be people that aren't supportive, habits, like circumstances. We can think of these as the pests and or the weeds that might hamper that growth. And every so often we're going to step into those. But just if you can identify one or two things that might hamper that growth of yours, just so you can be aware that when they show up, you've set this intent for your own growth. For your own expansion. Just so you can recognize what supports your highest and what doesn't. Now, knowing that this is all it takes, a few moments a day of sitting with your highest, your quiet self, your innermost desires and longings, to create that as your own internal condition. And the stronger your internal condition, the less Outer influences will affect that internal condition. So gentle your focus now. Bring the awareness back to the breath, knowing that every meditation is an investment in strengthening your core, your connection with the depth of yourself, bringing the awareness gently and slowly back up to the surface. The inhales will bring you more and more to the moment. You can maybe begin to wiggle fingers or toes or check in with your neck again, gently stretching. And then as you're ready, in your own time, you can begin to blink the eyes open. They're going to want to shut down again. We kind, once we move into this internal condition, we kind of want to stay there, which is, who could blame us, right? And then gently looking around the room that you're in. I like to see, oh, has my vision changed a little bit? How am I changing with every practice? And you can do this throughout the day. You can do this, once a day, a couple of times a day, checking in with your breath or kind of reminding yourself, oh yeah, like I want you to find compassion. I'm going to talk to that person. They're really a compassionate person. I want their support today. So I support you 100% in sowing the seeds of whatever you want your life to look like in this next year. I'm Amanda Freed. This is The Core. We will see you next week.